Fellas, you know Degree Cool Rush deodorant, right? Well, last year they changed the formula, and guys were mad about it. One dude even started a petition. So guess what? Degree heard us, admitted they messed up, and brought the original Cool Rush scent back exactly how it was. And it's in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. So grab some and remember why its cool, crisp, and fresh scent made it the #1 men's antiperspirant for the last decade. Degree Cool Rush is back, and it smells like victory for all of us.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
All right, you haven't talked about money all week. It's time. It's time to just get it done. It's Saturday. This is the day. You have to spend 2 hours discussing money, learning about money, becoming a better investor, becoming a better money manager. It's been just a week. Welcome to Talking Real Money. I'm Don. There's Tom over there. I see him right there.
Hi.
855-935-TALK is our phone number. 855-935-8255. Tom's been entertaining family all week.
Been more than a week. It's been like 3 weeks.
It is the brother
sitting at the window. Yeah.
It is the brother that'll never leave.
He's not listening, and so we can say whatever we like. I love having him here. I have a lot of fun with my brother, so he's a pretty low key kind of guy.
That's good.
So it's not a hassle. As my wife said, because he's leaving today, said he's a good house guest.
Oh,
yeah,
look at the Colonel trained you guys well.
Yeah, what can you say? So I'll be sorry to see him go. We had a couple little arguments about a few things, but nothing major.
Probably political.
Pretty good.
Probably political.
Yeah, it was political actually.
Yeah,
yeah. So,
brother's a little more liberal than you, maybe.
He is more liberal. Surprise there.
No, I know how that goes. Been around you almost as long as your brother.
Pretty darn close.
Hey, we want to help you manage money better in a variety of ways, but primarily in the way you invest it, because there's so little good advice on investing out there. I was going through the investing podcasts on Apple podcasts on Friday, and the things that what holds itself out as an investing podcast is just not. A lot of them are about real estate and buying individual properties and flipping and doing some really and we really believe that playing in any investment is dangerous. Playing in real estate, playing in the stock market, playing in whatever. And it needs to be just a small – people are talking about it being 100% of your portfolio. We believe in owning real estate as an investment, but only for a little tiny bit of your portfolio.
Yeah, I mean, what we're talking about is REITs, right? Real Estate Investment Trust, where you own –
REIT or wrong.
Yeah, thank you. Where you own a mutual fund or an exchange-traded fund that holds hundreds and in some case thousands of REITs. A REIT is – a security that holds other securities, so you actually end up owning a lot of properties.
Oh, that's not what we do in school. We don't read and write. We don't learn to read and write.
Thank you. You're really on today.
I'm doing the bad dad jokes for you.
Thank you. I appreciate you stepping in. But here's the thing. People have the wrong opinion, not just what you just mentioned, Don. By the way, thank you for the real estate has taken over for the other category that used to be number one. Remember what that was? How to get rich. Reselling on Amazon, because that's an easy way.
Gosh.
Remember all the podcasts?
There were
so
many scam podcasts.
It was number one. There was a number that was gaming it through somebody in Romania or something. So, we believe in owning REITs, but as we'll talk about this hour, you don't. I mean, because you bought them for the wrong reason, then you sold them for the wrong reason, and now you're buying them again because guess what? They've had a great year. So it's always time to run into something, rush your money into something after it's had a great year, right? The Vanguard Real Estate Investment Trust up 29% this year.
Wow.
REITs as an asset class up about 22% this year. Still, by the way, about what you've made in a globally diversified stock portfolio, which is up over 19. But what we saw, Don, and you saw this last March, remember REITs dropped like a hot rock. I mean, regional malls, 54% down, retailing down 42.7%. And guess what investors did? Oh, they took money out. $2.1 billion rushed out of REITs last year. How about this year? $10 billion have gone back in.
I'm sure it's pouring in because it's been good.
It's been good. And that makes absolutely no sense. Wouldn't you rather buy and hold something that has added to your portfolio?
No, see, people wouldn't rather just buy and hold. They want to buy what's hot, forgetting that what is hot is not what will be hot. It's what has been hot. Very, very different thing entirely. We believe REIT should be a small part of your portfolio forever and ever and ever. Amen.
And I also want to make clear, and we'll talk about a couple of REIT funds here in a minute, but I want to make clear that people don't think REIT should be a substitute for bonds. And that's what we're seeing here in the last few months. This is a horrible decision.
Those and alternatives, and we may talk about those a little later today, too. 855-935-TALK. That is our phone number. That's 855-935-8255. Give us a call. We do indeed have lines open for you right now.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Set your course for a great future with a free copy of our 60-page Better Retirement Guidebook at vestory.com, vestory.com.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
You see, your money, it's just this incredibly important part of your life. It's that stuff you need to do almost everything you do. You can poo-poo the importance of money. Some of you do, but I'm hearing my echo again.
Yes, I hear you twice.
Are you muted?
Very important.
Are you muted?
Yes, I am.
You are?
Completely muted. Yep, everything is off. It wasn't there before, and then it came up again.
That is just really strange.
Hello.
I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
But I'm hearing it. Anyway, we'll just live with it. That's the perils of this modern technology. Real estate. We were talking about that before the break, and a lot of people own real estate in America because it's the thing. Own real estate. That's what your grandfather said. Oh, you can never go wrong with real estate. So we own it. We own our houses. We own investment properties. But we sometimes own them for the wrong reasons. And Tom alluded to this before the break. You're supposed to buy real estate for a variety of reasons. One is that it tends to move slightly off other asset classes. But a lot of you are buying real estate in fact, some of you are buying real estate for what you call passive income, which is an oxymoron. It's about as unpassive or as active as it can possibly be, but these aren't bond substitutes.
They're not, and this is when in a low interest rate environment as we're currently in, where a 10-year government bond is still paying, I think, less than 2% a year. Not much money, not much income, right? Not much interest. People are saying, well, then I'll just put it in REITs because they're paying more in dividends, but they should not be confused. They are two completely different asset class. And by the way, all you have to do is go back to last March. We mentioned some of these numbers. REITs that specialized in apartments lost 22% of their money. Resorts, 36%. That is not bond-like. Bonds should be the stable part of your portfolio, not the part that's bouncing up and down.
And the kind of bonds we suggest for your portfolio are designed specifically to do that. They are not just, they are short to intermediate term, which means they get replaced very quickly in the portfolio, which means that the portfolio value doesn't have enough time to really go down a lot.
Yeah, and you're the bond part. I know people have a tendency to look at their whole portfolio and say, well, that part's making money, but that part's not. That's okay because
that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah. I mean, in retirement, you want to have a stable base that's going to be there if you're going to need to draw on it when the other one's going up and down. I know it's been a long time since stocks have gone down for any period of time. So, yes, bonds should be in your portfolio. Yes, REITs should be there, but they should not be interchangeable. That's the way I'd put it.
Yeah, and that just you said stocks haven't been down for any amount of time. Yeah, lengthy. But the reality is that just a little over a year ago, stocks went way down. Very quickly.
Forgotten now.
Exactly. And most people have even now forgotten 2008. Because stocks were only down. In 2008, they were only down for about 9 or 10 months. But it was a horrific 9 or 10 months. Maybe the worst that we've ever seen for stocks, ever.
Well, you look at the numbers, and not for the length of time, but certainly for the depth.
Yeah.
It was certainly among the worst, no question. And it made a lot of people, not unlike last spring, take their money out and put it into cash. Some people we talked to from time to time never got back in the market.
Well, they're waiting for it to go down again.
Stock. Yeah. Okay. Well, how long you got?
The problem is, here's what you're going to do. Let's just hypothetically say October. Because, October is a particularly bad month for stocks, followed by November, December, January, whatever Mark Twain said. They're all bad. Anyway, what's going to happen? Let's say for a minute, stock market goes down 20% in October. I'm just saying, what if? I'm not predicting that. What is that low enough for you? Is that when you're going to buy back in? No, we know you won't, because here's what you're going to do. You're going to go, oh my gosh, it's going down. I'm going to wait till it's done going down. You're going to say that. I know you will. I'll know when it's done. I can tell. I have these superpowers. I know.
Did they have a bell or something they ring? Or
no
they
bell.
Up a smoke signal?
No smoke signals, no rockets, red glare, none of that. You will literally not know, but you will think to yourself, oh, this is bad, and it can only get worse from here. That's what people were thinking last March. It can only get worse from here. And a lot of people, not many of our clients, but a lot of people bailed. We know they did because they called us.
Yeah, they got out. They're waiting to get back. Again, the bigger picture point there is you got to have a plan. You got to know what your asset allocation. What I was trying to get to today is please do not rush into REITs because they've had a great year. Please don't rush into real estate investment trusts because the payout is higher than bonds. They are not bond-like. They should not be a substitute for the ballast in your portfolio, which is what bonds or fixed income should be.
And for those of you who think, and this is primarily younger people, we know you're smart. We have kids. We know they're smart, but you still lack a little bit of experience and a whole lot of wisdom. You do. Admit it. You're smart. You're brilliant. You're probably smarter than we are inherently, but we got years under our belt, which helps. A lot of
what's
you,
under my belt? I was wondering what that was. Something expanding.
Fat and experience. Yeah. But a lot of you, this is why there are so many popular real estate investing podcasts like Bigger Pockets. A lot of you think that's where you're going to make your fortune. You're going to buy properties, low down payment, huge amount of leverage, and they're just going to grow and they're just going to pay you income and the checks are just going to be coming in and you're never going to have to do anything. Well, there's a guy I've been reading at Seeking Alpha for a long time.
Which is what? What is Seeking Alpha?
It's a website about money, about investing. I have been reading his columns because they make me so angry for a very long time. His name is Jussi Ascola. Not a good writer. Give you an example of his writing. I'll just read this to you. Leverage is the number, the word, and then the number sign, way, how people go broke. Now, I can feel the English teachers out there going, I hope that's not my student. But anyway.
He's somebody's student.
Jussi wrote a book called High Yield Landlord. He has been a big advocate of buying your own properties and managing them and, collecting rent and making big bucks when you sell them. But he's changed his mind.
Uh-oh.
So this is interesting for all of you who are going to get rich in individual properties. He said that he now believes that REITs are a better investment than individual properties because there are some studies, and he quoted these studies, that show that REITs tend to generate a higher average return across the board for investors than do individual properties. And then he did something that we've been mentioning a lot. Your time. You put value on your time, and suddenly the returns don't look good at all.
And the worry and the concern and the dealing with all of this, that beyond the time, I think it's psychic energy, right?
And then the two more things. One, when you buy property, the leverage is your responsibility. The borrowing is your responsibility. And finally, when you're buying individual properties, you're going to work in your own market. you're not geographically or property diversified, which REITs are. So if experts on buying individual properties are saying REITs, you probably should consider REITs. And right now, we think the best way to do it is the Vanguard REIT Fund.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
A second opinion could save your life either physically or fiscally. Let one of our Vestory advisors help you save your future at Vestory.com, Vestory.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
It's money that drives your existence, and it's money that is going to fuel your future. So you gotta have it. You need to manage it. You need to invest it better. And we want to help you do just that at 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255. Give us a call. It's really, 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 really easy. All right?
We might be nice. We might be nice today, so we'll see. It's possible.
I'll be nice. I'm always nice. Yeah, ask my wife. She says I'm not always nice, but I think I am.
Okay.
I think I'm always nice. I'm just a nice person. By the way, and you can also send us questions in which we answer on the show and the podcast at talkingrealmoney.com. You can record them or you can type them. And a lot of people type them like this person.
750 word special.
Yeah, it's only about 300.
Oh, good Lord. Yes, go.
You ready? Hello, fellas. I'm back again with some basic questions. Thank you for enlightening me to the dark underbelly of the financial advice world by producing this podcast almost every day. Thanks to you, I now have a sense of peace about my finances that I've never had before. Now that I'm financially independent, not that I'm financially independent, only that at least I now understand what to look for in an advisor. How to diversify, take advantage of the world market for the long term, et cetera, et cetera. So that all said, here's my question.
Yeah.
I have a combination of term and whole life policy that I've been paying on for years, don't even know how long, from Northwestern Mutual, the quiet company. My wife and I are 60, planning to retire in 2 to 3 years, likely. I think I'm getting heisted for about $200 a month on these policies. One of them is a whole life policy held on me, the male, for $50,000. That's not a very big death benefit.
No.
There is term life held on my wife for about $150K and another term policy held on me for about $200K. At the time I took these out, I had 2 young kids, and the insurance I had would have paid off the house and then some, so my wife could be debt-free. At this point, the kids are off on their own, employed. I have about $1.8 million in 401Ks between me and my wife, and our Social Security and pensions will amount to about $7,200 a month. So finally, the question. Drum roll, please.
Okay.
What should I do with these life insurance policies? I think the whole one has about $6,000 cash value. I believe that if I just close out that account and take the $6K, that will be taxable. No biggie, really. Should I be worried about life insurance at all? My thoughts about life insurance at this point really have to do with making it easy for my wife and family to hold a funeral service if I were to pass away. Please advise, wise ones.
Okay. Well, first of all, I don't know anything about your relationship with your wife, so that may be a consideration about having the policy on her. I have
Exactly.
no idea. That's not funny.
No, the policy on your wife. I mean, if you're not relying upon her for my thinking about life is that you have life insurance to take care of those upon whom. Who rely on you, not upon whom you rely, but who rely on you for income. If you don't rely on your wife for income, quit paying the term policy.
I don't know what you spend a year, but I think he said he has
$1.8 million,
1.8,
and $7,200 a month pension and Social Security.
Pension, that's a pretty good benefit. So again, that would supply. And if you're 60 years old, personally, I dump all the policies. I see no reason
me too.
to have a $50,000. And I think I've said this publicly. As mine are coming up, I'm letting them lapse because I've got kind of the cash on hand, if you will, if something were to happen to me. So,
and by the way, you're not going to pay taxes on that whole $6,000. Some of that's going to be return of principal. You've got some money that went in and earned money. So you will have earned money on some of the money, and you will have some taxable interest at your regular income rate. There won't be any tax situation with the term policies, but I just quit paying into them.
Yeah, let them go.
Because all you're doing right now is you and your wife are playing the death lottery with each other. Hey, if she goes, I get a big check.
Does that involve a spinning gun on a table or something?
Probably.
Or
I don't know, but that's what life insurance is. You're betting.
I agree.
You're betting that you're going to win by losing someone you care about.
I think my father still had a $5,000 policy at the end of his life that I had told him to let it. But
it may have helped pay for his funeral. But the fact of the matter is, these days cremation is relatively inexpensive, and there are a lot of nice places. There's a lot of. I don't want to be spread around Tom Swamp. Just please let's make that clear to the entire world right now. 855-935-TALK is our number.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Tom and I created Vestory to help everyone become a better investor, even those who will never be clients. Let one of our advisors help you start your financial plan or solve a money problem free with no obligation or high-pressure sales pitch at Vestory.com. Vestory.com.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
I forgot to turn my mic on.
Yeah, it's one of those basic things.
Basic thing.
Go.
You turn your mic on, you talk. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Talking Real Money. I'm Don McDonald. We've got lots and lots and lots and lots and lots. I've got 5,000 phone lines open right now. Just like
5 and 1.
As far down the machine as you can look, you can see like non-blinking phone lines. We still have blinking phone lines. I mean, that's probably pretty cool right there. Just that old tech. We still have blinking phone lines. 855-935-TALK is our telephone number. That's 855-935-8255. The call is absolutely, positively, ain't no doubt about it, free.
And someone might answer.
Someone might answer.
Okay. Give it a shot.
All right, I got another question for you.
Okay,
go ahead.
If that number doesn't work, call my wife's number. She might answer too. Probably not.
She won't tell you that anybody called.
Exactly. Good point. Anyway.
So
kidding.
Give us a call. 855-935-TALK. I have a question that was sent into TalkingRealMoney.com, and it's about rebalancing, Mr. Pop.
Yes.
Let me start it again. I started it wrong. If I've been building a global total market all equity portfolio in my taxable account for 30 years,
yeah,
what is the most tax efficient way to reallocate 50% of that portfolio to short, intermediate term bonds? My taxable account is my spillover account after maxing out our 401ks and Roth IRAs. Roughly $2.5 million in the taxable account. If unable to rebalance without taking a monster hit in capital gains, would it be more efficient to look at all the portfolios as a whole and adjust the 401s, Roths, bond allocations to 50% of the total, deaccumulating from all the portfolios at the same time versus deaccumulating from our taxable first?
Yeah, he's got it right. She. Yeah, we do get this question.
It's he.
Pardon me. Okay, so he's got it right because taxes are a serious consideration, especially if the portfolio has been sitting there, you said, for 30 years.
Yeah, he's going to have some.
Wow. Yeah, it's unlikely you're going to want to be selling a lot of securities that have had a 30-year run up, basically. So, yes, this gets back to something that can be very important for people, what we call asset location. Each portfolio may be designed differently. We've said this. Sometimes your Roth, you might want to make all stock because that grows tax-free. The money in your pre-tax 401k, IRAs, those kind of thing, you might want to have the fixed income there because the interest you're going to pay tax on. Then the after-tax account he's talking about here maybe makes sense to put that in all stocks again, grows, the tax ramifications are less. Here's the problem. I think the strategy is correct. Do it. Build the one, put the bonds in one place, put the stocks in another, because selling would be a huge tax issue. So here's the problem. When you look at your portfolio from time to time, you're going to say, wait a minute, that one is up 20%. That one's down. Well, because bonds this year are down 2%, Don. Why?
Yeah, but he did say in his note, he said to look, he mentioned the key to success. He said, should I look at all portfolios as a whole?
Yeah, no,
that
absolutely.
is the key. The problem.
It's one thing, though, to say it. Can you do it when times get ugly? Last spring.
You actually have to steel yourself to make a commitment to do that. You probably even need to write it down and put it on a bulletin board and say, on this date, I committed to looking at all my portfolios as a whole so that if one of them is doing really badly, I am not going to freak out. So help me, Tom and Don.
And the other one I like around that I read a long time ago is when the portfolio does go down a lot, like last spring, write down how you feel. Mm-hmm. Put that somewhere, because then when it's all yippee skippy like it is, I guess, until a couple weeks ago, market's going straight up. Now you can say, oh, remember how low I was? I'm feeling high. I should be staying somewhere in the middle there because my emotions are going to lead me to make bad decisions. No, that's absolutely right. Here's the only other problem with asset location. It's more difficult to rebalance because now one part is all the stocks, one part's the bonds. You can't really be buying and selling things to get back to the correct percentages. Then you got to decide maybe
then
you're going to end up pre-tax.
But then what you're going to need to do is when you're getting close to that point, that's when you need to start doing a little tax planning. You need to start looking at it and saying, okay, I am going to need at some point to rebalance from this. So maybe I should take advantage of prices when they're falling and move some of this money eventually to fixed income. 855-935-TALK is our phone number, 855-935-8255. Give us a call. We'd love to talk with you.
Are talking real money.
Want a free copy of my book, Financial Physics? Well, go download it right now at vestory.com, vestory.com.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
Okay, I know that a lot of you don't believe in actually speaking with people anymore. I get it. It's like my daughter. She never answers the actual telephone, and she doesn't actually make telephone calls anymore. For some reason, it is so much more comfortable for her to text her father and her mother than it is for her to talk with us anymore.
This is a different program. We talk about money here.
I have forgotten what her voice sounded like. So maybe you are all like her. And I think that's the truth because we get so many typed questions.
I know.
And we don't get a lot of as many phone calls at 855-935-TALK or spoken questions at talkingrealmoney.com. Here is your opportunity to, instead of leaving a message and we answer it, to actually speak with us simultaneously. It's called, what's the word? A conversation.
Whoa.
We can have one about money. And how many people out there can you have a conversation with about money who are going to tell you the truth as they know it?
And we're going to be nice.
We make mistakes.
Even if you have a serious Amazon habit.
Oh, no, he's not. I'm telling you, if you have made mistakes in your portfolio and you call Tom, he's going to call you on it.
Oh, okay. I'll be.
You got to be nice.
Exceedingly
nice today.
Yeah,
I think you scared everybody off. 855-935-TALK is our phone number. And all the phones are open. But thank goodness people learned how to type. Sort of. And they type their questions into us at talkingrealmoney.com like Chris did. Hi, Tom and Don. I have been listening to you for about 3 years after I moved to Renton. You know where Renton is, just down the street.
I do.
Down the interstate.
Right down.
The jobs I have, oh, got it. The jobs I have never have retirement, but I have an IRA from my divorce, Vanguard.
They don't have an employer-sponsored retirement plan.
Right, that's what she means, yeah.
That's a problem. I agree.
Yeah. But I have an IRA from my divorce, Vanguard to MS. Okay. I assume MS is Microsoft, but I don't know what that means.
They have a retirement plan there.
Or it's MS or multiple sclerosis. And a Roth that I've been trickling money into. I have since moved to Southern California. Aren't you happy for the podcast, Chris? And my housing is paid. I sold my condo in Wa and paid off all my bills, and now my emergency fund is flush. Retirement is about 10 years out. My current monthly spending is about $500 for internet, groceries, and gas. You know what was first in that list? Internet, groceries, and gas.
Yeah.
Internet is more important than food. I am paying insurance by the year, so now I was thinking about putting half of my monthly salary into my Roth, approximately $1,300, until I reach the max for this year and next year. Does that make sense? I have my Roth and Schwab. What fund do you recommend at Schwab for me, Tommy?
Wow, that's interesting. So, yes, I love if you're eligible for a Roth, and it sounds like you are.
She makes $2,600 a year.
And there's no big tax reason to take the deduction to put it into a pre-tax account like
Doesn't sound
IRA.
like there is.
Yeah, no, I'm a fan of that. Then you get into the how to invest it. Now, here's an issue that seems to be getting to be a bigger issue.
Yeah.
Charles Schwab is going to charge you to buy a Vanguard fund, and they're going to charge you a lot.
Yeah,
It's
it really went up.
$74. I mean, so it's got to be a pretty gargantuan purchase to make sense.
But the good news is there's a way around it.
So are you suggesting she go open an account at Vanguard
No, she
or
can
use
go to
a Schwab?
or use ETFs.
Yeah, Schwab, I'd have to look up the ticker, but I'm sure Schwab
No,
is
but Vanguard's ETFs are free still.
Okay, so she could just go, you could go to Schwab and then just own the V as in
VT
Victor.
for now, because she's 10
T
years
as in
out.
Tango. Yeah.
She's 10 years out, and it'll probably go a little longer. So that, but you know, at $1,300 a month, you're going to max your $7,000 IRA pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's like 5 months or something.
So just keep investing in it outside of the IRA because it's a very tax efficient fund.
So, yeah, I mean, again, Don's right. If you wanted to use one stock fund, you could own Victor Tango, VT. If you want a balanced exchange traded fund, what is the Vanguard balanced
I don't know.
ETF? I don't think I know what that
I don't know, but you
is,
could,
that'd be another way to go.
balance your own by using VT and BND.
That's true.
Go take the risk quiz at talkingrealmoney.com and then determine what your risk tolerance is, and we'll give you an allocation between equities and bonds there. And so you can have 70%. I think with because you don't have a lot in retirement, that you probably need to be a little bit more aggressive for at least the next few years.
Yeah, but she said her housing was paid for or something.
Well, no, it's just I sold my condo and paid off all my bills. So she just lives frugally.
Didn't she say? Okay,
No,
I thought she said the only major expenses were internet, groceries, and gas.
Yeah, I don't know how she's
Anyway,
living free,
right.
but hey, whatever.
Okay,
more
that's
power
great.
to her.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I would be more aggressive early on.
Yeah, no. So maybe you do start with the first few months, just use the VT, then buy the BND, which is the Vanguard Total Bond Exchange Traded Fund. Now, I don't know. I'm assuming you can still do those free at
You can still
Schwab.
do those free at Schwab. And here's something funny: with just a few minutes left in the hour, the lines have filled up.
Yeah, of course they have.
So we're going to have a couple of you hang over to the next hour, or
All right,
for those of you listening at home, the next podcast. Barbara, you're up. Welcome to Talking Real Money.
Hello, how you doing?
Good, thanks, Barbara. What's up?
Well, what it is I retired 2.5 years ago from the federal government. And my question, obviously, is since I retired, I was debating on paying off my mortgage, which is $118,000 at 3% interest, or just keeping it and buying another property possibly. But my deal is this. I did not touch my pension. I have a 401k with a Roth as well as a regular IRA, I guess, or what it is, which it gets invested because it's a federal government.
Right.
So since I didn't touch it, at first it was $550,000. Now it's $750,000 the last time I checked.
Yay.
About 6 or 7 months ago. And since I haven't touched it for 2.5 years, I'm assuming it went up again.
Probably.
So obviously, what was that?
I said probably.
Probably, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, I'm a disabled vet, all right, and my husband also is a disabled vet.
Okay.
So we have an income where our bills are paid for.
So is the question, should you pay off the mortgage or not? Because we only have about a minute left.
Yes, basically.
Tom?
Is it beneficial for me to pay off the mortgage?
No.
At 3%?
No.
Nope.
No. Because when you take that money and you put it into your house, if something happens down the road with your health or whatever it might be, how hard is it to get money out of your house possibly in the future? Very hard. If you've got it in your investment portfolio, it's very easy to get. plus
and
3%
is a very, 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 very low rate, especially when you look at even the history of interest rates. So I would just pay whatever you have to pay on your mortgage, keep it going along. That's fine since you have the income. Keep your TSP invested properly. And
you've done really well. You've got your money is growing. You don't need it. There's no reason, though, to lock up. We think it's a mistake to lock up capital in a house, particularly when you're using the bank's money to own it at such a low rate. Thank you so much for the call, Barbara. We've got a lot of you remaining, so we'll get to you as soon as we can. 855-935-TALK.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Is your portfolio a mess? You may have a case of hodgepodgeitis, but don't worry, we can help. Just set up a free, no-obligation meeting with a Vestory advisor at Vestory.com. No sales pitch, guaranteed. That's Vestory.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
And while we love taking your questions on the show, and we really do, we know that there are some things that require more time than we have. Sometimes you're looking at this messy portfolio you'd like to have somebody look at and go, oh, these are really terrible, or oh my, these are great. I'll tell you how much you paid, or to try to help you make the first move in a plan toward a better future. So we offer our advisors to you at Vestory, fee-only advisors with no fee. It's absolutely free. Just go to Vestory.com and get an appointment. Vestory.com.
We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for educational and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. Providing personalized financial planning or investing advice takes time, so please consult with a really good fee-only fiduciary investment, tax, or legal advisor. We know a good one. Investing must always involve risk. In other words, you can and probably will lose money at times. Also, as much as you want it, no one can accurately, consistently predict the future. So past performance doesn't tell you a darn thing about what the future will bring. Unlike many other programs that say something similar, Talking Real Money is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Vestory, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and disclosures. That should keep the lawyers happy.